Hey guys, it's your boy Shane Mario, and today I want to talk about Tyler the Creator. Call Me If You Get Lost, B word. No, actually, it's called Call Me If You Get Lost. If you guys don't know, Call Me If You Get Lost is a sixth studio album by Tyler the Creator, American rapper, singer, and record producer, music director, and actor. Tyler the Creator has been one of my favorite artists. If you guys don't know, I did talk about Tyler the Creator on this channel. If you guys already know, I am a massive fan of Tyler the Creator because his music always been one of my favorite type of music, alternative hip hop. While that type of music might not be accepted by the hip hop community, well, it's accepted but not accepted by the mainstream audience. Tyler is one of the few artists that got accepted by mainstream audience because he's very unique guy. That's why I love his music. Now I want to talk about his prettiest work prior to Call Me If You Get Lost. And we'll start with his mixtape, his earlier projects like Bastard or Goblin. Which to be honest, I love those projects. I know people may not like Goblin, but personally, Goblin is one of my favorite albums of Tyler the Creator's discography because I love his, because it has some bangers on here, but yeah, it was controversial. But I do love the overall style of Goblin. It's kind of like Bastard, but it's very dark. And I don't understand why everyone did not like Goblin, but I personally think Goblin was a great album to me personally. And Bastard was a great mixtape. As far as Wolf, it's a good album, but I didn't. But it's not my favorite album from Tyler the Creator. It was more of a cream color album, which it's not bad, but I know some people may not agree with me. But I personally think Wolf is one of my least favorite, mainly because I don't know, it just doesn't hit right for me. I mean, we got Wolf. This album came out 2 years after Goblin. And it was like a surprise. Like this is from a dark sound to more of a cream sound. But don't get me wrong, Wolf got some good songs on here. But I'm not a fan of Wolf. It's probably one of my least favorite albums from Tyler the Creator. But I know people love that album and say that it's their favorite Tyler album. I personally am not my favorite, but it's still a good album. Next is Cherubone, which I have to be honest, it's my least favorite album from Tyler the Creator. I do not love that album. There were some good songs on here, but other than that, that album not it. Especially, I don't know. I think the main problem with the album is the mixing. The mixing was terrible. Some of the hard hitting tracks on here were terrible. Like subtitle tracks, Cherubone. What the heck is that track? I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually still play this song, but I was questioning myself when I listened to this. Why did this song sound like Shoot? Like, this song was dog shoot, and I do not love the mix on that song. I don't know. I think Cherubone was Tyler's best album. As for Flower Boy, I love that album. It's definitely better than Cherubone, better than Wolf. I feel like Tyler realized his potential on this album. We got tracks like Cold That Boy with his Fire Balloons, See You Again, and I Got Time. My 11 slash Mr. Lonely, and Glitter and November. Those songs those songs were great because Tyler did a good job on the songs. That's why I love Flower Boy. As for Eager, Eager is one of my favorite albums of 2019. Actually, my favorite album of 2019. I love Eager because it was a great album, amazing album. It had amazing production, and everything on here was great. Like I love that album. So I was very impressed with this album. I was definitely it wasn't a WAP album, but I appreciate it as week year, 2 years progress. Even listen to Call Me If You Get Lost, I still appreciate Eager as a whole album, as a whole unique experience. This is what comes to Call Me If You Get Lost. Now, this album, it had a promotion, all that. I was like, oh shoot, Tyler's gonna release some new music, and there was a voicemail. It was like crazy. So I was thinking, is this gonna be a new songs or a new movie? Nah, it was a new album. And actually, I've been checking on Tyler the Creator because this year, because I wanted when his new album be out. I've been checking for months, like from March to June. I was been checking this as if new albums coming out from Tyler. No, till June, his new album was coming out. I was like, oh shoot, I will love that to see a single. And he finally dropped the first single off that album, Lemon Jack. What was the pull out? Black boy, hop out. Shout out to the mother and the father. Bro, that hook was fire. I don't care what people say. This hook was fire. I love that hook. Um, Unlike Earthquake and Eager, this song was very hip hop, very rap. It sampled is a song from the '90s. I mean it had the same beat as a '90s song, but a little bit different. Tyler bars, flow, everything. Now Tyler doesn't have the best flow, but when he flows, I like that. I mean Tyler's not a flow artist; he's more of like a artist, but he flowed pretty good on that song. So that's why I love that song, Lemon Jack Fire. The next single he dropped was Whistle Name, which it wasn't a full song. Like it wasn't a full song at the time. It was Tyler's rapping, but it wasn't like a full song until the album came out. But the craziest part about that song is this song was very soul and pop music, like it was West Coast and R&B. It was different from Lemon Jack, so I was like happy. So after that song came out, oh well, snippet of that song, I was thinking this album will be released next month, right? No, time now is June 25th. It was the same day as Doja Cat, Ski Mask, Slump. I was like, damn, so I'm gonna do 3 projects at one day. Dang, it was crazy. But I did listen to those 3 albums projects, and I would say Call Me Forget Lost was probably the best project of June 25th. And let me tell you about this album. I'm gonna talk for a little bit. Call Me Forget Lost was an album where Tyler is mostly rapping. No, it definitely has some singing slide, but as far as rapping, it's mostly throughout this album. Unlike Eager, this album is hip hop, old school, kind of feel on there, and I mean, I love that. Now the only, but like Eager, this album has some soulful R&B cuts, but even on this cut, Tyler was rapping on here too, so he wasn't singing as much on this album, but he rapped on this album a lot. And to be honest, I love it. Call Me Forget Lost is probably my favorite Tyler the Creator album, mainly because this dude has his prettiest albums mixed into it and put it into his album. I love that. Let me start with the first track. I'm not gonna do a track by track review, but I just want to mention tracks that I love. Starting with the second track, Quoso. I don't know how to say his name, but Quoso. That track is one of my favorite songs on the album because production on here was hard hitting, kind of got the old school feel, hardcore hip hop. It was wow. Tyler's bars is there, bro. He is so aggressive on that album, on a song. The craziest part, I was like, I expect this album to be a bit jazzy, hip hop, mostly hardcore, a little bit hardcore. But man, that second track was very aggressive. It was like, this is mommy the old Tyler that I listen to a lot. Then we get to the track Lemonhead with 42 Doug, which I was surprised by the feature, because 42 Doug makes trap music and Tyler makes different music. But when I heard before the album came out, 42 Doug said he had a song with Tyler, I was like, okay, this song could be on 42 Doug project on Call Me to Get Lost. But when I tried to try to get with 42 Doug, it wasn't there. I was like, where's the song with Tyler? But then when I checked the track with 42 Doug, it was on that Call Me to Get Lost. I was like, really? So I was like, I'm expecting a trap beat. But no, it was Tyler's style with 42 Doug on here. And I love that song. Sure, some people may think 42 Doug feature may not be great because it doesn't fit the whole track. Personally, he went hard, so I wasn't mad right then. That's like for today's day. Another surprise feature on here was of listening with NBA Boy, which you guys don't know. I am not a huge fan of his music. I don't like his music, but he sounded good on that song. I love that feature. It's probably one of my favorite features on the album. Ty Dolla $ign did his thing on here. Although he was only for the hook, I love that. You know. Next, Hot Wind Blows with Lil Rain was good. Lil Rain did his thing on here. My Soul was good. Trying to think. One Elf featuring Touchdown. That dude went hard. I actually never listened to his music, but after listening to that song, maybe I could listen to his music for the first time. Let me know in the comments below. What's the Now there were some long tracks on here, but those long songs are fire. Sweet Sex Don't Thought to Dance featuring Brent Faiyaz. That song was fire, but it's too long, but the song was good. Wise featuring Daisy Ward, that was a good song. Ginger Nut featuring Uzi Vert and Pharrell, that's possibly the hardest song on that album. Like Tyler went hard, Uzi went hard, Pharrell went hard, bro. Even though the song was hard. Another last one was called the last song track was West Share, which was a good song, but it was a bit too long. I saw some people did not like that song. I was like, why? Is it because the sound's not good, or I don't know? But other than that song was good. And the last song, Software, was fire. So let me talk about production out here, because I actually did talk about a little bit, but let me talk about production. Bro, production of this album is great. I got elements of hip hop, old school hardcore, some trap music inspired beats on here. Though not a lot, but it definitely has some. It got pop, jazz elements, and R&B toward this album. There was some R&B songs like "What's Your Name," "Wise," "See Thought You Would Dance," and trap some inspired beats like "What It Up," "Lemonhead," "Dirty Nut," like those songs, like. And there was some, I had some old school hip hop, hardcore hip hop beats. Oh yeah, I forgot about Jordan Nut. That's a trap song too. Another, also got some old school hardcore hip hop beats, songs like Crosso, Massa. Oh, I forgot my first song with Doom Genesis. That song was fire too. My first song has some kind of got that sample, that kind of old school doom like bass side. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I love the production of this album. I do love that. Another one that I love about this album is this Tyler the Creator content on here is unlike his previous albums. This album doesn't have like a character. Well, it does have a character, but doesn't like have a lot. So let's talk about it. So Tyler's ego in this album is Tyler Bernier, and he's blagging all that. Also, Tyler Bernier got not a girlfriend, but he loved girls on this album, I believe. Cause like Igor, Tyler was talking about the boy he was in love with, but that boy wasn't still in a relationship with his ex. That's when the problem began on the album. Now on this album, Tyler is talking about a girl on some of the tracks, so you could tell this is more of a straight album for everything. Now don't get me wrong, there's some lyrics that Tyler mentioned. Of course, is the gay side, like My First Soul, where he said he would have Justin Bieber. I was like, okay, Tyler, we're not doing this again. But other than that, that's the only few of the lyrics about the gay side of Tyler. Other than that, most of this album is straight talking about women. Love that. So yeah, I mean, I'm not against gay people. I'm just saying, I love gay people and all that. So, but sometimes like Tyler lyrics, it could be a bit funny or not. But other than that, I mean, Tyler lyrics on here is great. He got some bars on here. But yeah, I think that is it. As far as this album style, this is remind me of the old Tyler, but more polished, and some of his new elements into this album. Do I think this album is better than Eager? Probably not. But do I think it's my favorite album from Tyler? Yes. Eager used to be my favorite album from Tyler, but this album right here is probably my favorite album from Tyler the Creator. I love this album. I give it a 10 out of 10. I know I'm a bit biased because Tyler the Creator has been one of my favorite artists, but I'm not lying. This album was good. It was 10 out of 10. Not every song here was bad. The only song I don't love was the intro of the album. I don't know. I just not a fan of the intro track. But other than that, this album was good. I really enjoyed it. Definitely a great album. I give this a 10 out of 10. My favorite tracks on here would be Corso, how I say the name? Corso, Lemonhead, what's your name? Lumberjack, Howard Blues, Massa, Went It Up, Marcelo, Juggernaut, and then Safari. So that's all it. So thank you guys for watching this. I know some of the words doesn't make sense. I'm trying to, sorry, I just, I talk too much. So I get lost. But thank you guys for watching this. Alligators.